I did not know danger until the night my father told me I needed a bodyguard. I stood in our penthouse in Milan, looking down at the lights of the city. The noise of cars and voices drifted up from the street. Life moved as if nothing around me was falling apart. I turned when my father entered the room. His face was tight, the way it became when he hid something from me. "Annie," he said, "you are no longer safe." I wanted to laugh. My father often behaved like the world was after him, but his world rarely crossed into mine. He was a businessman with ties he never explained. I thought his fear belonged to him alone. I did not know it had already reached me. "What happened?" I asked. "Something I should have prevented," he said. "Someone sent a warning. A real one. Not the empty threats." "You think they will come after me?" "I do not think," he said. "I know." He spoke with a calm voice, but his hands were not calm. I had seen those hands sign deals and close companies without hesitation. Seeing them shake made my stomach twist. I was still trying to understand when the door behind him opened. I thought it was one of his assistants. Instead, a man stepped forward. He wore a simple black shirt. His eyes were dark. His hair was close-cut. He carried himself the way soldiers carry themselves in films, but with a colder silence. He did not look at my father. His eyes were fixed on me from the moment he entered. "This is Mateo," my father said. "He will protect you." Protect me. The words felt strange. I did not want protection. I wanted answers. But Mateo's stare kept me quiet. It was not hostile. It was something else. Something unreadable. "How long?" I asked. "Until this ends," my father said. "And I do not know when that will be." I turned to Mateo. "Do you know what this is about?" "I know enough," he said. There was no emotion in his voice. No warmth. No softness. He spoke like someone who lived in a place where feelings got people killed. My father left the room without another word. Mateo stayed. He watched the space as if danger lived in the corners of my home. "You do not have to stare at me like that," I said. "I do," he answered. "Why?" "Because you are my work." The coldness of his words made something push inside my chest. I had met men who tried to impress me. Mateo was not one of them. He seemed like he did not even want to be here. I tried to walk past him, but he stepped aside to block me, not touching me but close enough that I felt the heat of his body. "Where are you going?" he asked. "To my room." "I will check it first." "Check it for what?" "For anything that should not be there." My voice rose. "This is my home, not a war zone." "For now," he said. He walked ahead of me. I followed, angry but also curious. I watched the way he moved. He searched my room with a precision that made me aware of how different his world was from mine. He checked behind doors, under the bed, inside closets. He even stepped out onto the balcony and scanned the street below. When he finished, he stood in the doorway. "You can enter." "Thank you," I said, though the words felt sharp. He gave no reaction. He only nodded and stepped back. I sat on my bed and watched him from the corner of my eye. He stood in the hall like a silent shadow. I wondered what he knew. I wondered what danger he believed was coming. I wondered who he really was behind the hard face and rigid posture. "Who hired you?" I asked from the bed. "Your father." "I know that," I said. "But who are you? What did you do before this?" He did not move. "Nothing you need to know." "So I know nothing about the man who will follow me everywhere?" "That is correct," he said. I pushed myself off the bed and walked to the doorway. I faced him. I was close enough to see the faint scar on his cheek. It looked like a line drawn by something sharp. His eyes lowered to meet mine. For a moment, the air felt heavy. "Then tell me something," I said. He stared at me without speaking. Anything, I said. He did not look away. I do not lose people, he said softly. Not the ones I am sworn to protect. Those words sank into me. He had not said them with pride. He had said them like a vow he had made long ago. A vow that had cost him something. Before I could ask more, my father returned and told me I was leaving Milan for a while. He said too many eyes were on me here. We would move to our villa in Florence the next morning. Mateo would come with me. My father would stay behind. I argued. I told him it was unnecessary. But in the end, I could not change his mind. When he left again, I looked at Mateo. Do you think I am in real danger? I asked. Yes, he said. That single word made my throat tighten. I slept lightly that night. Every sound in the penthouse felt louder than usual. When the sun rose, I found Mateo waiting by the door with my bags beside him. You packed my things? I asked. Only the basics. You went into my closet? I had to. You could have asked. You were asleep, he said. We drove to Florence in a black car with dark windows. Mateo sat beside me, stiff and silent. I watched the changing landscape. The green fields. The small towns. The distant hills. For hours, he said nothing. I wondered if he ever spoke more than 2 sentences at once. When we reached the villa outside Florence, he got out first. He checked the area before letting me step outside. The villa was quiet. The stone walls carried the warmth of the sun. The air smelled of cypress trees. Inside, he inspected every room again. He moved through the villa with a speed that showed he had done this many times before. When he was done, he returned to me. This place is safe for now, he said. For now, I repeated. You keep saying that. Because safety does not last long for people who are targeted. I felt a chill. Do you know who is targeting me? I know who wants to hurt your father, he said. And people like him do not care if they hurt the children too. I breathed slowly. Are you ever afraid? His eyes held mine. I am afraid only when I fail. But you said you do not lose people. I do not plan to lose you, he said. His voice was steady, but his eyes revealed something for the first time. Something dark. Something heavy. Something he did not want to say out loud. I stepped back. Why does this feel like more than protection? It is protection, he said quickly. Then why do you look at me like that? I asked. His jaw tightened. His eyes shifted away. He looked like a man fighting with himself. Like someone hiding a truth he wished he could bury. You are my work, he said. His words were firm. But his voice was not. He turned and walked away before I could push further. I stood alone in the quiet villa. I knew almost nothing about him. Yet something inside me had already begun to move toward him like a slow pull I could not stop. I tried to ignore it. I told myself it was only because he was always near. Because he watched me so closely. Because danger changes how people feel. But deep down, I knew it was something else. Something I did not want to name. Something he was trying very hard to control. The first days in Florence passed slowly. The villa was wide and quiet, and I felt its silence in my bones. I tried to continue my life as if nothing had changed. I walked through the gardens. I read books on the terrace. I listened to the sounds of distant birds. But I always felt him nearby. Mateo never relaxed. He watched every corner. He moved like he expected danger to appear at any second. I could feel his presence even when I did not see him. At night, I heard footsteps in the hall. His steps. Always steady. Always controlled. I wondered if he ever slept. One afternoon, when the sky was bright, I decided to paint in the garden. I set my canvas under the shade of a tree. I dipped my brush in the colors and let my hand move. But my eyes kept drifting to the house. I waited to see him step out. I waited for the familiar shape of his body in the doorway. I tried to ignore the need for his presence. When he finally appeared, he walked toward me with that same straight posture and unreadable expression. "You should paint inside," he said. "Why?" "You are out in the open." "This is a private villa," I said. "No one is watching me." "You cannot be sure." I put the brush down. "Do you ever stop thinking something will go wrong?" "No." "Why?" "Because the people who want you harmed do not stop thinking either." His words were simple, but they carried a weight that pressed against my chest. I looked up at him. His eyes were scanning the trees, the walls, the sky. Everywhere except me. "Sit down," I said. "I cannot," he answered. "You can," I said. "You act like you are made of stone. Sit for one moment." He hesitated. I had never seen him hesitate. Finally, he lowered himself onto the grass across from me. His back was straight even while sitting. His hands rested on his knees. His eyes remained alert. "You look uncomfortable," I said. "I am not here to relax." "And you think sitting down is relaxing?" "Yes." I smiled. "You know, you could at least look at the painting." He turned his head. His eyes studied the canvas. "It is soft," he said. "Soft?" "Yes." "You say that like it is a problem." "It is not a problem," he said. "It is who you are." I felt heat rise up my neck. He had never spoken about me like that. Every time he described something, it was about danger, risk, strategy. Never about me. Never about what he saw when he looked at me. "What am I then?" I asked. "You are someone who still believes the world has gentle places," he said. "And you don't." "No," he said. His voice was low. Honest. Not cold. Not hard. Just true. "Is that because of your past?" I asked. He looked away. His jaw tightened. "My past does not matter." "It matters to you." "It is not something you need to hear." "Why not?" "Because I am here to protect you, not to trouble you with things I cannot change." I leaned forward slightly. "What happened to you?" He closed his eyes for a moment, like he was holding something inside. Then he opened them and said, "I protected someone once. She died. I will not let that happen again." The words cut through the calm air. He did not look at me after he said them. He kept his eyes on the grass, on the distant wall, on anything that was not my face. "I am sorry," I said. His voice came out quiet. "Do not be sorry. Be safe." Before I could speak again, his phone buzzed. He stood quickly and stepped away to answer it. I watched him. His back was rigid. His shoulders tense. He spoke in Italian. His voice was low, sharp, controlled. When he returned, his expression was darker. Different. "What happened?" I asked. "We received information," he said. "Someone saw one of the men near Florence 2 days ago." "Where?" "On the road from Siena." "Is he coming here?" "We do not know yet." A shiver moved through me. "What does this mean?" "It means I was right," he said. "We are not hidden." I picked up my canvas with shaking hands. He noticed. He walked closer, standing in front of me. "You are safe," he said. "As long as I am here, nothing will happen to you." "Do you ever promise things you cannot keep?" "No," he said. Night fell faster that day. Mateo stayed inside the house, checking locks, turning lights off, walking from room to room. His movements were sharper than usual. His silence was deeper. I watched him from the staircase as he checked the windows. His face was serious. His body tense. I went downstairs and stood near him. Are we leaving Florence? Not yet. So what now? We wait. His eyes stayed on the window. And I stay close. I nodded and reached for a glass of water on the table. My hand shook slightly. He saw it. He reached out and placed his hand gently on my wrist. It was the first time he had touched me without a reason tied to danger. Do not be afraid, he said. I cannot help it. You must try. Fear makes you slow. I looked up at him. His eyes softened just enough for me to see the man behind the guard. The man who had lost someone. The man who refused to lose again. The man who was fighting something he should not feel. Mateo, I whispered. Are you this intense with everyone you protect? No. Then why with me? His lips parted. For a moment, I thought he would tell me. The truth hung in the space between us. Something deep. Something forbidden. Something he had been holding back since the moment he walked into my life. But he did not say it. He let go of my wrist and stepped away. Because you are the target they want most. The lie was clear. His face said more than his words aloud. He cared. More than he should. Later that night, sleep refused to come. I walked down the hallway and found him outside my bedroom door, sitting on a chair, awake. He lifted his head when he heard me. You should be in bed, he said. I cannot sleep. I will stay here all night. You can rest. You do not have to stay in the hallway. I do. You could at least sit inside the room, I said. You sitting here feels strange. It is safer this way. I leaned against the wall across from him. Is this what your life has always been like? Yes. No breaks. No. No one waiting for you anywhere? His eyes dropped to the floor. No. I swallowed. The loneliness in that single word was sharper than any danger outside the villa. Do you ever wish you had a different life? I asked. He looked up at me. His eyes were dark, heavy, full of something unspoken. It does not matter what I wish. What if it does? It cannot. Why? His voice dropped. Because this job does not let me want things I cannot have. What is it you cannot have? I whispered. He stared at me for a long time. The air between us felt charged. My chest rose and fell with each breath. His breath matched mine. For one moment, it felt like he would cross the small distance between us. That he would touch me. That he would let himself feel the thing he fought so hard to hide. But then he stood up. He stepped back from me like the space between us was dangerous. Go inside, he said. Mateo. Please, he said, and the word came out strained. I walked back into my room. He closed the door behind me. I leaned against it and waited, my heart beating fast. I knew he stood on the other side. I could almost feel his presence through the wood. I pressed my palm against the door. On the other side, I heard him exhale. A long, uneven breath he had been holding for too long. I realized then that whatever he felt, whatever he fought, was deeper than I imagined. And I knew the slow burn had only begun. The next morning, the air in the villa felt different. Heavy. Quiet. Like something unseen had entered during the night. I woke early and stepped into the hall. Mateo was no longer outside my door. For the first time since arriving in Florence, he was not standing guard when I opened my eyes. A strange panic rose in my chest. I moved quickly through the hall, past the stairs, past the tall windows. I found him in the living room, sitting on the edge of the couch. His elbows rested on his knees. His head was bowed. He looked like a man thinking about something that pulled him apart from the inside. Mateo. I said softly. His head lifted. His eyes were tired. You should not walk around without telling me. You were not at my door. I heard you wake. I checked the hall before you opened it. That is not the same. I know. His voice was low. And something else, almost quiet with guilt. I stepped closer. Are you all right? Yes. You do not look all right. I am fine, he said. Sit. I sat on the opposite end of the couch. He did not look at me. His eyes stayed fixed on the empty space in front of him, like he was watching something only he could see. You did not sleep, I said. No, you never sleep. I sleep when it is safe. It is never safe, is it? He did not answer. After a moment, he finally turned to me. His expression was steady, but behind it was something deep and wounded. There was a car outside the villa last night, he said. It stopped for too long. The engine stayed on. My breath caught. Who was it? I do not know yet. But they did not come close. They stayed by the road. Whoever it was, they were watching. And you were alone out there? Yes. What if it had been them? I would have handled it. But... Annie, he said, and my name sounded different in his mouth. I do not want you to worry about what could happen to me. How can I not worry? His eyes held mine. A long, burning stare. Because your worry will make me weak. I shook my head. You are not weak. You do not understand, he said. Fear for yourself is one thing. Fear for me is another. It changes how you move, how you think, how you survive. And what about you? I asked. Do you fear for me? His jaw clenched. His throat moved as he swallowed. Yes. The single word hit both of us at the same time. I took a slow breath. Then you understand. He looked away first. His hands curled into fists. It is different. How? Because it cannot change how I do my work. I leaned closer. But it already has. His head turned sharply toward me. The silence between us felt like a live wire. His breathing changed. My heart beat too fast. He stood up before anything could happen, his movements sudden, purposeful. You need to pack a small bag, he said. We may have to move again. To where? Venice. What? Why? There is a safe apartment there. Your father arranged it long ago. We will leave tonight. Before sunset. I stood too. Mateo. No, he said, keeping distance between us. There is no time. But this is not only about danger. Yes, it is. Then why do you look at me like... Annie, he said, and the way he said my name felt like he was warning himself. You need distance from me. Why? Because you do not know me. I know enough. No, he said, his voice harder now. You know the part of me your father hired. But you do not know the rest. The part that does not belong in your world. I do not care. You should. For whose sake? Mine or yours? He did not answer. He moved past me, walking toward the kitchen with quick steps. His shoulders were tense. His fists still clenched. He was trying to run from a truth neither of us could run from. I followed him. Talk to me, I said. There is nothing to talk about. Yes, there is. No, he said again, sharper. Stop trying to pull things out of me. I just want to understand. You do not want to understand, he said. If you understood, you would stay far from me. I stepped in front of him, blocking his path. Then tell me. He froze. I could see the battle in his eyes. A war between duty and desire. Between the rules he lived by and the feeling he tried to crush inside himself. He took a slow breath. I worked for a man before your father, he said. A man who trusted me with his daughter. My chest tightened. She was young. She was innocent. She believed I could protect her from everything. She believed I could keep her safe. And you did not? His voice dropped. No. Was it your fault? Yes. The heaviness of the word hit him as much as it hit me. He looked at the floor. His breath shook. I promised her I would not let anything touch her. I promised her she was safe. I looked her in the eye and said those words. And then she died because of a choice I made. Because I trusted someone I should not have trusted. What happened to her? He shook his head. It does not matter. It matters to you. It matters too much, he said. Silence stretched between us. Heavy. Fragile. Full. Mateo, I whispered. I am not her. He lifted his head slowly. I know. Then why are you punishing yourself with her memory? Because I cannot fail again, he said. I will not lose another person I promised to protect. You will not lose me. You do not know that. He moved closer without meaning to. I felt his breath. His eyes dropped to my mouth for the smallest second before he stopped himself. I cannot want this, he whispered. Want what? You. The word broke him. I saw it. His walls cracked. His control slipped. His entire body leaned toward mine before he forced himself back with a sharp breath. This ends now, he said, stepping away. It does not have to end. Yes, it does. I am your guard. Nothing more. You do not believe that. It does not matter what I believe. He grabbed his jacket and turned away. We leave at sunset, he said. Stay inside until then. He walked out of the room, leaving me alone with the truth he had finally spoken. He wanted me. He feared losing me. He was hurting. And he was running from something that had already changed both of us. Night came sooner than I expected. We packed in silence. His eyes stayed distant, his movements sharp. But every time he brushed past me, the space between us tightened like a thread pulled too thin. In the car on the way to Venice, he drove fast. The road was dark. The world outside was quiet. Inside, the air felt full of words he refused to say. Halfway to Venice, his phone buzzed again. He looked at it. His grip on the wheel tightened. His expression changed. What is it? I asked. He exhaled slowly. There is something I did not want to tell you. I straightened in my seat. Tell me. They found your father. My heart stopped. Found him? Where? Is he hurt? No, he said. But he was followed today in Milan. They lost the men, but they were close. I held my breath. So this is bigger than we thought. Yes, he said. Much bigger. Do they want him, or me? The pause before he answered was too long. They want you, he said. Because he cares for you more than anything else he has. And you. I whispered. Do you care? His fingers tightened on the wheel. His jaw clenched. His breath grew uneven. Annie, he said, voice low, raw. Do not ask me that now. Why not? Because I do not trust myself to answer. Lightning flickered across the sky. A distant storm rolled over the horizon. The car continued toward Venice. The road was empty. The night was cold. Something dangerous was closing in. Outside. And between us. The storm reached us by the time we arrived in Venice. The rain came down hard, turning the narrow streets into silver paths. The city was quiet at night, just water, stone, and the sound of distant boats. Mateo parked the car in a private garage and guided me through the shadows. He kept one hand near the small weapon at his side, his eyes scanning every corner. The apartment my father arranged was small, hidden above an old shop near the Grand Canal. Mateo unlocked the door and stepped inside first. He searched every room, every window, every corridor. His movements were careful and sharp. When he finally let me enter, he did not relax. "Do not remove your shoes yet," he said. "I need 10 minutes." "For what?" "To be sure no one followed us." He disappeared down the stairs again. I stood in the silent apartment. My chest felt tight. The rain outside struck the windows like small stones. I moved toward the glass and watched the black water below. Venice looked like a dream and a warning at the same time. When Mateo returned, the rain dripped from his hair. His shirt was soaked, clinging to the lines of his shoulders. He shut the door and locked it. "No one is outside," he said. "But this place is not perfect. The walls are thin. The windows face the street." "Then why are we here?" I asked. "Because we had no other choice tonight." I watched the water slide down his jaw, his throat. He wiped his face with his hand. His fingers shook slightly. He was tired. More tired than he wanted to admit. I stepped closer with a towel from the bathroom and held it out. "You should dry off," I said. He hesitated before taking it. His hand brushed mine as he reached. The touch was brief, but my breath caught. He did not move back. Neither did I. He dried his hair with slow movements. I watched him. He watched me. The space between us grew warmer. "You are angry," he said softly. "Yes." "Why?" "Because you keep trying to shut me out." "I have to." "No," I said. "You choose to." His jaw tensed. "If I let you close, I will lose control." "What does that mean?" "It means I will want something I cannot have," he said. "It means I will stop thinking. And if I stop thinking, you will die." His words landed like stones. "Why do you think everything ends in death?" I asked. "Because it has before." "You are not the same man you were then." "You do not know that." "I know you care," I said. His eyes darkened. "That does not make me safe." "It does not make you dangerous either." "It makes me something worse," he whispered. "What?" "Human." That was the first time he sounded broken. He lowered the towel and looked at the floor. His breathing grew heavier. I took a step closer, then another, until I stood right in front of him. He did not move away. "Mateo," I said. "Look at me." He lifted his eyes slowly. The storm outside reflected in them, dark, restless, full of things he did not want to feel. "Tell me the truth," I said. "Do you want me?" His breath stopped. He looked at my face, my lips, my eyes. His hand twitched at his side. He swallowed hard. "Yes," he said. "More than I should." My heart thinned into a single sharp beat. The rain outside grew louder. It felt like the whole world held its breath. "Then why are you fighting it?" I asked. "Because wanting you is the most dangerous thing I have ever felt." "It does not have to be dangerous." "Yes, it does," he said. "Because the moment someone discovers how I look at you, how I feel when you are near me, they will use it. They will use you to destroy me. They will use me to destroy you." "Then let me choose," I whispered. He stepped toward me without meaning to. The tension between us tightened like a wire. I felt his breath, the warmth of his body. The storm outside shook the window, but he was the only thing I felt. "You should go to bed," he said, but his voice was unsteady. "Come with me," I said. He closed his eyes as if the words hit him physically. When he opened them, his control fractured. "I cannot," he said. "You can." "I should not." "But you want to." "Yes," he whispered. "God, yes." I reached out and touched his arm. His muscles tightened under my fingers. He looked down at my hand. Slow. Disbelieving. as if he had imagined this moment too many times and now feared it was real. Then he stepped back. It hurt. More than I wanted to admit. He ran a hand through his wet hair. "You do not understand what is happening around us," he said. "The threat is changing. I heard something tonight on the drive." "What did you hear?" "A message." "From who?" He hesitated. "From someone you do not want to know." "Tell me." He walked to the window and stared at the rain. His reflection in the glass was tense, haunted, ready to break. "They want to trade," he said. "You, for your father." My breath left my body. "Me? Yes." "Why?" "Because you are the only thing he will not give up. That makes you valuable." "And you?" I asked, my voice unsteady. "What will they do if they get me?" He faced me slowly. "They will not get you." "But if they did?" "They will not," he repeated. His voice was sharp. "Not while I am alive." Something inside me cracked open. "Mateo," I said. "You keep saying you will die for me. But you have never told me why." He stared at me from across the room. He looked like a man standing on the edge of something dark and deep. "Because my life has meant nothing for a long time," he said. "But protecting you gives it meaning." My throat tightened. "You are not nothing. You make me want to be more," he said. "More than a weapon. More than a shadow. More than the man who failed once and buried himself in guilt." I walked toward him. Slow. Careful. He watched me with wide, torn eyes. "And that scares you?" I asked. "Yes," he said. "More than death." When I reached him, I touched his chest. His breath hitched. His heartbeat was fast against my palm. He placed his hand over mine. Not pushing away. Not pulling closer. Just holding it. "You are not alone," I said. "You do not have to be." His fingers tightened on mine. His walls fell. His voice dropped into something raw and unguarded. "I care for you more than I have cared for anyone in years," he said. "I think about you when I should not. I watch you when I should look away. I feel things I should have buried long ago." My heart felt too full. "Then stop fighting it." "I cannot." "You can." "If I let myself love you," he said, "I will never be able to walk away. Even if walking away is what keeps you alive." Silence wrapped around us. He looked at my face like he wanted to memorize it. His thumb brushed the back of my hand without thinking. It was the smallest touch. The softest. But it felt like fire. "I am scared too," I whispered. "I know. But I still want you." He closed his eyes. When he opened them, they were warm in a way I had never seen. Not dark. Not cold. Not guarded. Just human. He leaned his forehead against mine. His breath mixed with mine. His hand slid up to cup the side of my face. My eyes closed. My lips parted in a soft breath. We stood there, suspended in something fragile and alive. Something that felt like falling. "If anything happens to you," he whispered, "I will not survive it." "Then don't let anything happen to me." His thumb stroked my cheek. Slow. Tender. Dangerous. "I won't," he said. "Even if I have to give my life." "Mateo." He kissed my forehead instead of my mouth. It was the softest kiss I had ever felt. The kind that carried more emotion than passion. A promise. A plea. A breaking point. He stepped back before it became more. "We leave Venice at sunrise," he said softly. "We cannot stay. And after we reach the next safe house, we will talk about this again." "You are running from the answer," I whispered. "No," he said. "I am trying to live long enough to give you one." He turned away and stood guard by the window, watching the rain, watching the dark canals, watching the shadows that hunted us across Italy. And I stood behind him, my forehead still warm from the place his lips had touched. The deadly protector who loved me more than his own life had finally broken his silence. But the danger was only beginning.